welcome back to our part 2 on how to run a webcast. Again, I am Kelly Huang. I am the video content manager here at 75F, and every 2 weeks I direct a live webcast using GoToWebinar here in our beautiful lobby. In this video, I'm going to talk about our workflow using GoToWebinar and my step-by-step process on what I do before and during the live broadcast. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so in part 1, I explained how I set up this entire table. And if you missed that, please go back and watch that video and then come back to this one. So the first thing I like to do is have GoToWebinar obviously set up on this computer. And before I get anything started, I want to start a practice session within the event. And the reason why I run a practice session is so that I can check all my camera angles, since I mentioned in the first video that GoToWebinar likes to crop the cameras in. I like to make sure that the framing on all the cameras are perfect to what I want. This here is the output from the Roland switcher, and this is basically the feed of the cameras and the audio, and this is your input into the computer for the broadcast. And this here, you can't just plug in the HDMI because you'll need a video capture card that converts the signal so that your computer and GoToWebinar could read it as a webcam signal. So I'll go ahead and plug that in. This is sort of like my ritual. You could do it before you start or after, but I've just had better luck on doing it after the fact. And then you just kind of wait until it comes in, and then you want to switch it to that audio setting. Then click OK. You can see significantly between the camera 1 that's coming straight out of the camera to the camera 1 that I'm taking on the GoToWebinar that it is cropped significantly. It's like coming in all the way here. It's taking a lot out on the sides and at the top of the frame. You just have to look out for that while using GoToWebinar as your webcast software. I can show you when I take camera 3, the graphic that shows up. And it is the full screen of the PowerPoint presentation. And this is achieved by what I mentioned in the first video when I underscan the ratio and the display settings in Cam 3, which is the laptop, that you're able to actually see the full presentation. And the videos I take out of the PowerPoint presentation doesn't crop either. The next thing you want to do is check to see if your audio is coming in nicely. So the way I check that is basically checking it on the live monitor computer as if I was an audience, and I'll listen in through my headphones and have the presenter just sort of test the audio. So check, 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 check. You can see here that the levels are coming in. In my experience with using GoToWebinar in this setup, sometimes you get some robotic sounds of the audio. And sometimes the camera feed doesn't come on. It's like black or has like a green screen, and it's just like not connecting properly. And my workaround to that is literally to just unplug the CamLink connection to the live webcast computer and just plugging that in and replugging it and just reconnecting it. A friend of mine used to say that the HDMI connection is sort of like a digital handshake, and sometimes it works and sometimes the connection is not working. So all you have to do is sort of just plug and replug it in. Okay, so for me right now, everything's coming in perfectly. The cameras are coming in, the audio levels are in nicely. And the next thing you want to check is the view on this computer into the live TV monitor so that your presenter can see everything. And once you've checked on the view on the TV monitor, one thing you want to do is get Bluetooth earbuds, because since we bring in a lot of panelists who are remote and coming in from different locations in the US, they will also speak on it and maybe converse with our presenters. And so you want to make sure that your talent and presenters are able to hear the panelists on the webinar. So we have Bluetooth earbuds for them, and I will actually connect the output signal from the live broadcast computer so that the presenter can hear them without hearing an echo from their own mic. So you want to make sure that the Bluetooth earbuds that you use for your presenters, if you're doing this setup, that they're connected to the computer that is hosting the webinar. Okay, so I'm going to go handheld for this because it's very involved. So I'm going to show you how I start off the webcast through just basically what we do as our intro, and then kind of show you our outro to the webcast. Okay, so first off, we want to start the broadcast and click start. So once you have the broadcast started, the first thing that we always have up, we started about 15 minutes before the webinar actually starts. There's some early people that kind of come in and wait. So about 10 minutes before the broadcast, so we play a 10-minute video timer, which is really cool. Just have people just kind of sit and wait, watch a timer. It's kind of nice. It kind of gets people kind of hyped up for it. All right, so let's say the timer is done and we go into our intro video. So we have an intro video with music, kind of just like a nice montage of our company with our product and people. And then if we fast forward a little bit, we have me or Lauren kind of doing an intro into our broadcast, introducing the panelists and what we're going to be talking about. And once that video ends, I make sure that the on-deck camera is up, and then I will fade in the camera.
Stay tuned for features like BACnet integration, ASHRAE Guideline 36, and much more. Let's get started.
Hey folks, welcome to yet another webinar from 75F.
And so let's say the webcast is about to end. I usually end the frame and the broadcast on camera 1, and we'll just fast forward all the way to our outro video. So once it's ready to be taken, I make sure that it's back on 3. I fade in 3 and play the outro, which will be me or Lauren kind of saying thank you for coming to our webinar and talk about our next webcast.
And thank you very much, and be well.
Thank you for attending our webcast. If you'd like to review this session, watch out for an email tomorrow morning from info@75f.io.
And the fun thing that we do for our outro is have a very long slide that just explains that the webcast has ended. We'll see you at our next one, and it has some music so people can kind of slowly filter out of the webinar and that it doesn't abruptly end on them. And the next thing that takes our webcast to a whole nother level is not only do we have the live monitor TV for our presenters to see the live broadcast, but we also have an extra TV in our lobby already that we use to cast the live questions that come in through the webinar. And Lauren, who is also our producer on the webcast, will field through those questions and pick the questions that kind of pertain to the topic being presented, so that Bob or Deep, who are normally our presenters, will take the questions here and answer them live on the broadcast. So that concludes our 2-part series on how to run a webcast. I hope you learned something and taken away anything so that you can run your own webcast at your company or in your home. I will list and link some of the products and equipment that we use here so that you can get going on your setup. And shameless plug here, I hope to see you at our webcast. Check out our webcast page at 75f.io/webcast and join one of our webinars and see my setup in live action. So thanks for watching.